Hi everybody, Cory Snyder here at SeeWhy Learning. I hope your studies are going well. I just got off the phone with a student who's with one of our corporate clients who uses SeeWhy Learning to help him with the LLQP, and he came across a question in our materials that he felt contradicted what was in the source material, specifically a morbidity table found in Chapter 2 of the Accident and Sickness Guide. Now, what that morbidity table states, and it's accurate, is that the younger you are, the more likely you are to suffer a disability than somebody who's older. And that doesn't seem to make a lot of sense on the surface. If a 25-year-old falls down on a sidewalk, that person's much less likely to suffer a serious injury than somebody who's 60 that suffers the same fall. So if we look at the question that we have here, it says, all else being equal, which one of the following individuals is more likely to suffer a disability between now and age 65? Now, we've made this question really clear because we're trying to drive home a point. It's this last piece that you see here in italics, bolded, and underlined that really is the crux of that morbidity table that you find in the book. That little piece of information isn't just there. It says, who's more likely to suffer a disability? So when you read that material, keep in mind what it's really asking is, or telling you is, who's more likely to suffer a disability during their working years. So from the insurance company's perspective, if they're insuring somebody who's 25, they've got, say, 40 years over which they have an opportunity to suffer a disability that could take them away from work. If somebody's 64, they're less likely to actually suffer an injury in the first place. Now, if they do, then that disability may be more prolonged than somebody who's 25. But the chances of it happening in just 1 year are much less likely than it happening to somebody over the course of 40 years. So with all that being said, let's take a look at this question. Again, all else being equal, which one of these individuals is more likely to suffer a disability between now and age 65? Well, what we need to find is, first of all, who's the youngest? So we have Amanda, who's 25, and Peter, who is 25. So between 25 and, say, 65, there's a 40-year time horizon over which they could suffer a disability. And then who's more likely of those two based on gender to suffer a disability? The inclination for most folks is to answer Peter because they know that men are more likely to die. Well, men are more likely to die earlier than women, but in large part due to childbirth and some other things, women are actually more likely to suffer a disability. So the answer here is actually Amanda. As you can see here, that's right. Amanda's 25 years old. That's the answer we're looking for. And then we go into a detailed answer key where it shows the breakdown between gender and age and how that affects disability. Now we have another question in our content that says, who is more likely to suffer a disability this year? And again, we're trying to drive home that point as it relates to that morbidity table. The older you are, the more likely you are to suffer a disability in any given year, but the younger you are, the more likely you are to suffer a disability between now and the time you retire. I hope this helps, guys. Keep up the great work. Good luck on your exams, and stay tuned for more great content like this.